Welcome to the KMBest podcast. We actually have a ton to talk about, and we're going to start with the current Marvel Snap metagame, which I think has sort of devolved or maybe evolved into an all-new flavor of tech soup, the axis of evil here being, of course, Mercury, Mobius, M. Mobius, Thing First Steps, Juggernaut, occasionally Ghost Spider. You put those 5 cards in a deck, I'm really not going to question much of the rest of it. Those 5 cards in a point package, or mix and matching some of those 5 cards. Like, it's easy to fall out of the axis of evil, I think. The cards I think are locked into it: Mercury, Mobius, Juggernaut. But even then, I've seen Merc Mob decks that aren't Juggernaut decks. But to me, it's all about that core right now. And it feels maybe a bit like the new Wiccan, which is to say just the mid-range deck that is in every single game it plays, that can win every single game that good players like because it lets them outskill people. Which is not to say it's the best deck in the game. I basically feel like I can't lose with it, but that dynamic is definitely at play. And I think it is a very solid choice, but what I want to talk about is the way those metagames develop and change, and then in contrast with that, how we got here was basically they nerfed all the tech cards and everyone was like, we don't need those. It's fine. We've got these guys, the guys that didn't get nerfed. And now that they're back, we don't even care. And I guess my question to you is, can you give me an example of something in Magic the Gathering? I'm joined, of course, as always, by Magic the Gathering legend Gerry Thompson. Are there situations where things like this happen where a bunch of cards that people rely on and have sort of like inbuilt anchor points are on them where they're not accurate, a shock to the system happens and everyone suddenly realizes at the same time that these cards are not actually good enough and there are other cards that do that job better? Are there any examples that come to mind from your history?
Not a direct parallel. However, they did ban Jace the Mind Sculptor in Stoneforge Mystic. I simply did not play with those cards in my blue-white deck because they're no longer legal, and then my win rate went up.
It is, I wouldn't say it's a very similar situation, but I do think that deck is pretty similar because it's very much like a deck that really good players were still able to win with, and then everyone else was just sitting there like, I don't know what I'm doing. And
no one played it, and it was like, oh, the amount of mirror matches went down because people thought like the deck was bad, and then people just went back to playing bad decks that got beat up by Cawblade.
Well, I mean, at that point it was more Caw Go, like the original one. By that point, shout out Brian Kibler.
I still had some swords in my deck.
Sure.
I think maybe one of the stronger examples is Paulo playing this blue-red Cauldron deck at not the Pro Tour this weekend, but the last Pro Tour. Mm-hmm. And the most popular deck being Is It Prowess, a different flavor of blue-red, and then a bunch of cards getting banned, and then people then figuring out that the Cauldron deck was pretty busted and was maybe just the better deck the whole time.
That's what this feels like, where it's like, how long have I been underestimating these tech cards as a method of keeping things under control? Because, like, you have these, like, Shang-Chi dead enders, right? And I think of the cards that got unbanned, the one that is immediately relevant is Killmonger, because it informs what you can do in the other decks. Like, you don't want to be hyper-invested in your one-drops. It got a lot worse to be a Black Cat Hydra Bob deck. Got a lot worse to be a Sunspot deck because that guy came back. He's immediately relevant in that way. But I think a lot of this is, and if you ask a lot of top players, they'll tell you Shang-Chi's been kind of bad for a while. And a lot of this is, he got nerfed in a way that I honestly think does not meaningfully impact him very much. Like, how many games is he actually hitting 2 things out of the games you play Shang-Chi? The answer is not very many. But the psychic damage that it did to people finally got them to take the card out of their decks. And now everyone is living in the new age. But I would be, because it didn't even occur to me that we should be investigating that as the core for a while, right? Because those were the tech cards in the Invisible When First Steps deck. And instead, I don't think those are the tech cards. I think those are the tech core that you build points packages around. Those are the cards that are constant, and the points packages are what change.
Yeah, I am going to fight you on the Shang thing a little bit.
Sure.
Can I do that? Is that allowed?
No, you're banned from Collision.
It's your show. I'm asking.
I'm going to explain that gag to any non-wrestling viewers in the audience. When CM Punk was with AEW, there was a common gag that anyone who said anything bad about him would be banned from Collision, as it was his show. So, if you disagree with me, you're banned from Collision. You are no longer allowed to appear on Collision.
I had dinner with Cedric Phillips last night, and he was wearing a CM Punk hoodie.
Yeah. Cedric is a person who I think I would want to do a podcast with, but if we did do a podcast, it would not be about game design. It would be about sports. It's he's definitely someone I could learn from in the context of game design. I have no doubt that I would learn absolutely nothing about game design from any conversation with Cedric Phillips, and it would instead be like, let's talk about LeBron for an hour and a half. And I would do that.
Oh, well, he would certainly do that. But Shang-Chi.
Yes.
I agree that there were very few games where it ever killed two things. But I think that was a product of what the text on the card actually was and how that meant that you played with it and played around it. Where, like, if you knew that it could tag everything in the location, you were not rewarded or incentivized for stacking the location with multiple big things, right? So you just never did it. Like, the way to play around Shang-Chi, especially when you're playing something like Surtur or whatever, you have a bunch of 10s, is to spread that shit out.
Yeah, and I think you can see that in how Surtur deck building has evolved. Like, one thing that has become a constant in Surtur decks, at least as I play them, is you're no longer messing around with, like, oh, I don't want to play Crossbones because that involves putting I have to have stuff there to put it because I don't want to put it in the lane where my 10 is. But now you're just like, no, I'll put it in the lane where my 10 is. I don't care. I'm very happy to do that. It's actually probably better for me. I'm a Juggernaut deck, right? Like, I am happily going to do that. Like, so, like, I do think you're right that the environment Shang-Chi existed in was informed by the text on him. That is a good point. It is a valid point. I will say, in addition to that, though, I think if you asked a lot of good players, he was kind of ass for a while. And I don't dispute. What I find interesting is how many of the problems that only he was able to solve for a while now have other cards that are able to solve them. And I think that's nice. Like, Move is sort of the prominent example here. Like, yeah, you could Shang-Chi them, but their whole deck is geared to beating you trying to Shang-Chi them. They have Alioth, they have Cosmo, they're going to beat that. So you actually can't Shang-Chi them, and you have to play Mercury instead. And that's just a better card to play. I would rather play a 2-2 that wins a matchup that can move than a 4-3 that wins a matchup that can't, right? Like, just straightforward, right? Like, exactly that. Decks that are going to, like, even with a deck where Shang-Chi is good, like Surtur, right? Mobius is also good. And is a 3-4 instead of a 4-3, right? Like, is it as good? No, but it covers parts of that matchup in a meaningful way. And I think that is what really sticks out to me about this. Like, Mercury Mobius just covers a shocking amount of space, and both of them, and I will admit I was a Mercury defender. I didn't want to do anything to Mercury when Cannonball was a big part of it, but it does occur to me that it's possible both of these cards have, like, one too many power. I don't necessarily think what they're doing is bad for the game. In fact, I think what they're doing is good for the game. But I think Mobius especially should probably get dinged back to 3-3.
Yeah, 3-4 is a lot. It's not a bad stat line, and it does ding a lot of stuff, just like random surges and whatnot, even if your deck is not all in, like something like negative would be or whatever. It's just like you are probably doing something, or I mean, locations happen too, it's so silly. So I'm down with Mobius 3-3. 2-1 Mercury sounds
really unplayable,
though.
Right?
Yeah.
I think the reason I'm less happy to make, I think that Mobius should be something you have to go out of your way for. But I also think that if people weren't able to play Mercury, Move would be so far and away the best deck, it wouldn't even be a conversation. Like this metagame would be like about move to the point that maybe people would be playing Scream. Like it would be that kind of thing where it's just like we would jump immediately to whatever else we could do to cover that matchup because that deck is unbelievably good. It's really, 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 really powerful, and it has answers to every single other tech card you could possibly play.
Yeah, I've been enjoying this. This is a nice little return to mid-range land where it is not 100% about whether or not I drew like the perfect tech card for the matchup because the tech cards are just a little bit generically better. And
yeah,
I have been having a lot of fun and I've been winning a lot. Been pretty nice.
I just keep like bashing the people in my high elo chat room to come up with even more synergistic point packages that I can put with the Axis of Evil. It's just like it's sort of never-ending arms race of like, all right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut Mobius to get more points in, and then we realize that's just bad, and so Mobius comes back in, and it's like how we've gotten to the point of clunkiness where I think mid-range decks had gotten to this point previously. Actually, like if you look at like the decks that Chamo was playing with Mr. Fantastic and Surge back in the day, Chamo sort of like the mid-range player, did very well in Golden Gauntlet Qualifier 2, I believe. And you look at the decks from that metagame, there's just like a Mr. Sinister in the deck because it's just better points. Like it's just like that, it's just there. And that's where we're at now. I'm playing Gwenpool with like Mr. Sinister and Brood and Silver Surfer first steps. And it's just absolute slop. And then the Axis of Evil. And like that's just the deck. And like
I played a couple games of that in the airport today and kind of hated it.
Oh, you should hate it. It is not an enjoyable deck to play, but I just can't lose. Like it is such absolutely pure slop. When it doesn't work, you're just sitting there like, wow, everything is terrible. And then when it does work, you win 4 cubes because you have, I don't know, a 24 power Brood or whatever, right? Like you're just like you're a mid-range deck. You're both mid-range decks, except you have a 324. And it's like, all right, well, we both tried. Both teams played hard. Great job. And that's kind of where I'm at in terms of like all I'm doing is that package and other stuff in that shape. Like I bet there's a Scream version of it. Someone posted an Ajax deck in there and I was like, that's cute, but can we get the package in there? Like, can we get Mercury in here? Can we get Mobius in here? I need those guys in here. It is stark. And I don't mean Iron Man. One card that has fallen out of that package, though, is Stardust, who I think would have been included in that package and was in my head because Hela is typically so good against this kind of like stupid mid-range garbage. But until people adopt Hela, we don't really need to go back to Stardust. And until that happens, I'm just going to keep playing really dumb Gwenpool stuff, and I won't have to worry about, what happens if I run into a Hela gamer yet.
Yeah, focus more on outputting points because that is going to be the thing that probably wins you pseudo mirrors and most matchups, and you don't actually need the Stardust currently, and that may change.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just down to Stardust's cost, where it's like the opportunity cost for running a Mobius, we talked about it. 3/4, not much of one. For running a Mercury, 2/2 that can move, not much of one. For running a 4/6, I think it's pretty high. And so you've really got to be hitting stuff with Stardust in a meaningful way, where I think both of the other two are hitting more things right now, or at least in Mercury's case, it's Jeff, right? Like, there are locations you can just win because you can move a Mercury to them. And it's like, is that cool or fun? No, but it is true, right? Like, you could just win those locations. And one of the things that makes the tech decks good is they minimize the impact locations have on the game. Yep. And I think those cards are a big part of why they have this lasting power.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And it is nice to have that when your deck is not Merlining, So
yeah,
that is definitely good and nice. And they got to do studies at some point in terms of like card gamers and agency and the need and feel to have the safety blanket like that.
I wish I had thought about that line of questioning before I had Matt Place on. For those unaware, Matt Place, 20-year game dev vet, Magic: The Gathering, Hearthstone, Once Upon a Galaxy is his newest game. Did a rate the cards video that I want to say we rated like 8 cards in an hour and a half because we were just talking about game design the entire time.
Sounds. Did it come out yet?
Yes, it is out, and all the comments are like, it's really sort of the apotheosis of like are we sure that the name of the series Rate the Cards is actually what's happening on it? Because to me, it felt like I was getting an hour and a half of like a class from a professor. Yeah. That's what it felt like. Yep. It was just like, this guy joined the team about the time that I first picked up a Magic card. And since then has worked with everybody. He worked with Broad, he worked with Mike Donay, he worked with obviously Mark Rosewater, he worked with all these people who are like the most established people in the field of card game design, full stop. And
also, I intentionally drew with him into top 8 of a PTQ in like 2003, so there's that.
Nice.
He's got that going for him.
He's got that's the Gerry bump right there. But yeah, like I want to say I do not feel like we got through a lot of cards there. I just like we didn't, because it was just 10 minutes of like a conversation, and I finally got back up on my most radical game design take. Or I don't know if this is a radical game design take, but it's one that I think I feel proud of having, because I think smart people have it. Which is, it's actually insane how advanced the land system is to have sprung fully formed from the brain of Richard Garfield, and the amount of people who are like, we're going to improve on this and don't improve on this in that way. It's like game design sprung 80% complete out of his brain. It is unbelievable. It is
a million years ago too.
Yes. Like,
it's just like, dude, you did it too good. You didn't leave any space for the rest of the people.
It feels like the land system, and people talk about, like there are bad things about the land system, but to get that close to the best practices of 30 to 40 years from now, just at base, is insane. It is absurd. Just to talk about like the level, like to almost perfectly nail the amount or the balance of how much skill versus luck should matter. First try. To just knock it out of the park, and also make it a balancing mechanism that gives your game an identity and a flavor. Absurdity. It is even for a guy like Richard Garfield, who is almost certainly a genius, it is a once in a lifetime thing to do. Like, no offense to the other games Richard Garfield has worked on, there's a reason why that one is so beloved, and it's just an absolute monstrosity of it feels like he invented electricity in 1800 or something.
Yeah, and then like, what do you do after that? Are you gonna have a better idea than electricity? And like, you don't want to be too derivative at that point either.
And I want to be clear, because electricity actually was invented in like the 1800s. When I say invented electricity, I mean like a modern light bulb. Like, it's like he had
like revolutionary.
Yes. It's like he time traveled. Like, I don't mean like, oh, we have a wick and a filament. I mean, he has an LED light in the year 1800. he's doing like blinking. He's doing like alien contact spoofs in the year 1800 because he has the technology that he has. That's what it feels like to me. And I guess a better analogy would be like, it's like he brought the internet to 1800, but still, it's insane.
No, he's driving like a souped up Honda Civic with like the strobe lights all over.
Yes. No, he's got the
like,
underglow.
The LED strobes.
He's got the underglow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And everyone else is looking at him, and they have a horse. And that horse is like the horse from Monopoly. And in this analogy, the horse is Monopoly. And he's back there pulling up in a demon, He's pulling up in a Hellcat.
And he's not doing it to like stunt on you or anything. He was just like, oh, this is the car I built.
Yep. Yeah, yes.
Do you like it?
That. It is like that. It's like he built like a luxury. It's like he built a Ferrari in 1800. That's sort of what it's like. It's just like, I don't know how you did that.
Is this cool? Do you guys like this? I thought it might be fun.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, you do find it fun? That's cool. I am satisfied.
I think Marvel Snap does a phenomenal job of it. Like, of putting the RNG in the right place, which is to say, not making the player feel too screwed over by it, but still having a really reasonable balance of luck versus skill in games, right? And I think when talking to Matt, the thing that really stuck out to me is the thing that makes Marvel Snap genius is not just the simplicity, but how much depth having 3 locations gives to the game. And it does feel like one of those things where it's like, this game would be infinitely worse with basically any other number. It's kind of just one of those things you take for granted, but like, it's the most important thing.
I thought you were going to say that they do a good job with the RNG and then refer to like the collection track and like card acquisition.
Yeah. There was one moment
RNG in the right places.
There was one moment during the conversation where the concept of the card acquisition came up, and I was literally just like, I don't think we can talk about that because that'll turn into a whole different video. We have to just like mention it and put it to the side. Like, we just don't have the ability to cover that in the video. But yeah, I mean, Matt Place was amazing. People asked for him to come on this podcast. I personally think that would not work because he is not, in fact, you, and I do not have any other nameplates for any guests on this podcast, so I have no plans for that to happen.
You think that's a full blocker? God,
100%. I am not doing any work on this podcast. I refuse to do it. It will never happen. Sorry, I just noticed the cactuar in the background again. Are you aware of the Fortnite John Cena emote swastika controversy?
No.
Okay, so in the opening to Peacemaker, Peacemaker spoilers. For those who, I'll warn you right now, it'll probably be, you're going to want to skip ahead 2.5 minutes. All right.
I'm censoring the swastika. Don't worry. I don't want to get you demonetized.
Interestingly, it looked like you were doing the thing he does, which is he sort of raises his hands like this at the opening, goes like this, and then this. And there are, I guess I'll try not to spoil it. Nazis figure prominently in the 2nd season of Peacemaker. And so the dance he's doing is referencing, presumably, the swastika. There's a reason it looks like that, right? And they put it into Fortnite as an emote, and nobody was like, hey man, is this a swastika? So now Fortnite just has people walking around doing the swastika dance, which they had to remove and be like, well, we have to go ask them if this is a swastika. We have to go and ask them, which I bring up mostly to say, it's crazy that Square Enix didn't do that.
Listen, my cactuar is just living his best life. All right.
He sure is. He's just prominently at the front. Like, why would you not?
My cactuar is apolitical.
Have you thought about not having him there?
He's a cool little guy.
It's just like you got 700 other guys, but you're like, no.
It's probably like 800.
Yeah. It feels like a choice at this point. You're making a statement, Gerry. I don't like what that statement is.
Well, you can kind of see that, like, it's not perfectly balanced or set up, you know?
Sure.
I just kind of like shoved them in there and then tried to get the ones visible that I liked, which obviously were the ones that were displaying signs of hatred.
Right, yes.
Such as Sizor, clearly right next to the cactuar.
What is Sizor a sign of hatred to? Like,
I don't know.
The VGC ladder or something?
If it was good, yeah.
It was good at some point, not. I swear. It was never good.
Very, very small window. Like, Technician is pretty good.
Yeah, it's Technician.
But
bullet punch, I want to say. Mach punch? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, the steel is good typing, but like quad weak to fire, it's not great. Mega Sizor also kind of dog shit, so
it's no Rillaboom.
Dude.
Rillaboom, the grass Incineroar for like a solid year and a half there. Like just a beast. Let's circle back to Marvel Snap, a sentence I definitely won't say 20 other times in this podcast.
Wait. Yes? Can we circle back to Marvel?
Yeah, okay.
I got a comic book this weekend.
Holy shit. You what? Wow, this is going to be some dumbass tie-in, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Dumb as shit.
I hope you're happy with yourself. I hope you're happy with yourself. Also, I guess we can talk about this because this is sort of a combination Marvel Snap / Magic the Gathering / Eric Adams podcast. By the way, breaking Eric Adams news later in the show.
/ Noah Rabine podcast.
We'll get to that as well. We have two, I think, equally upstanding and moral people to talk about later in the show.
Should I open this? I'm curious as to what is in it. Is it a collector item?
Yeah, you got to save it. You got to save it. It's number one. You're going to scalp that for, I don't know, $250 or some shit in 2 years.
I was going to auction it for charity at some point, so I guess I will keep it sealed, and I could probably just Google what's inside it. Anyway, tell me about your boy, Eric Adams.
No, okay. I wasn't planning on going to Eric Adams right now. He dropped out of the race for New York mayor. So this is actually like a really sad moment for me. And I invite you to think of your Eric Adams hive friends in a tense moment like this when tensions are raised and, truly a gift to national politics is lost. And just hug your Adams head friends today. Keep us in mind. If you don't actually pour something out there, you have to actually pour something out. You pour Red Bull on your keyboard right now for Eric Adams.
I refuse.
This is the disrespect us Adams heads get.
I'll pour it down my throat.
This is the disrespect us Adams heads get. You won't even ruin a keyboard for my man. Unbelievable. I didn't want to bring it back to Eric Adams. I wanted to bring it back to Marvel Snap for a moment so we can talk about
that thing.
Yes, the other thing. I wanted to talk about Jocasta for 2 seconds because she comes out. And I guess longer term, what I wanted to talk about is like, is it just me or have they been making a lot of cards that are at 48% win rate forever? Like, they just buffed Dormammu to 712. I reiterate my pitch that he should be 720. But like I just think they are correctly not Mr. Fantastic first stepsing stuff. Okay? Cool. That's the right thing to do. But also, at some point, do something stupid. Give me some dumb. Give me some dumb bullshit. And I feel like they've had a couple of designs that really promised to make new archetypes, and they just didn't put enough power in those designs. Morgan Le Fay and Dormammu, I bring them up ad nauseum. They did a pretty good job putting power into the Fantastic Four, though. With the exception of the Human Torch, all of them are just really good cards. Thing for Steps, Invisible Woman, and Reed Richards was before he was brutally murdered. I'll
pour one out for that guy.
Do it. You're gonna pour it down your throat again, aren't you? This is fucking bullshit, dude. He won't even ruin his keyboard for the podcast he doesn't get paid for. I can't believe this shit, man. I can't believe it.
I'm not made of keyboards, man.
Dude, I'm not made of headphones, but I keep having to be.
These symbols of hate don't pay for themselves, you know?
That's actually like a skill issue, I think. I'm pretty sure it's very profitable. Like, that's on you.
All right. Well, if any Nazis in chat want to Venmo me a hundo or whatever. Dope.
I'll
take it, I guess.
You can reach his Cash App cash tag is $. I actually do believe in what that cactar is symbolizing. I want to talk about Jocasta in that context because it got like a stealth nerf before it released. It was like 3-4 to 3-3. And it's like, in much the same way as I look at Viv Vision and I'm like, they don't want a Mr. Fantastic first steps it. I look at Jocasta and I'm like, they don't want an Invisible Woman first steps it. And my counter argument to that is they should absolutely Invisible Woman first step shit. They should absolutely just do some shit where it's like, this card came out and it is fucked up good. Go play it and have fun.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like you need to go back and watch your Invisible Woman episodes.
I said that they should nerf Havoc and I would be fine with it.
Yeah, but you were like 3-5. Why is she 3-5? That's so generous.
Yeah, and
they're kind of doing that here.
But they're doing it before we even know if the text on it is good. Like, the lesson from Invisible Woman First Steps was not, oh, okay, we can't do 3-5 enablers anymore. Because if you look at her right now, you totally can. You absolutely can do 3-5 enablers. She's totally fine right now. The whole problem was that she was released in a world where you got like 4-7 Fantasticar and Havoc at 4 and Mr. Fantastic First Steps. She wasn't the problem. She was fine. And Jocasta doesn't have nearly that level of institutional support. There is no Fantasticar for that archetype. There isn't another card carrying the weight.
That aspect is definitely true. I feel like the activate cards are like pretty good, and there are some powerful things with Jocasta, but I think if I draw a random spread of end of turn cards versus a random spread of activate cards, the end of turn cards are a little bit stronger. So
I don't think it's a little bit. I think it's a lot. Like,
well, yeah, that was like me being a little facetious, but yeah.
I guess my thing with Jocasta is like, I hope she's good. I mean, like, obviously she's a card she's so open-ended that she could do anything. But I think with a card like that's like this card where like you have a chance to cement a new archetype. I feel like sticking the landing involves making it strong. Because you're trying to convince people to go out of their way and do something new and different. And if you want people to play things that are new and different, you have to give them a really compelling thing to do. And to me, Jocasta, as she is gonna be cool and medium. Because what am I gonna do with Jocasta that isn't gonna be answered by Stardust or Shadow King? Like, what am I gonna do with this card that isn't that? And so when I do get my shit answered by that stuff, well, I feel stupid and bad.
Buffer when Super Adaptoid comes out.
That's the same day.
Oh.
They gave that guy a 3-5 stat line, and they were like, no, Jocasta? can't 3-5 Jocasta. So, like, my best guess for what happens to her is similar to what happens to Bastion. Where, like, instead of being like a card for a deck, it's just going to be like, this is a card you run in 2 decks to intensify your nut draws. Yeah. That's what it's going to be, instead of, like, being a new deck. And I don't know, man. Like, I feel like when they have the chance to make a new archetype, they should aim high on it. That is like specifically the spot where I am very tolerant towards this, I think. And that, like, I don't know if I've always been like this. If you want to call me a hypocrite, I'm sure I've said a lot of stuff. But I do think that is where I'm at right now. Where, like, they need to aim high on archetype defining cards.
I will definitely call you a guy that says a lot of stuff.
I do.
I'm pretty confident that I would be right about that, and I would be on the correct side of history. But it is interesting, you know, playing other games, especially Magic, where when cards come out, it is generally like an entire set. There's 200 cards, 300 cards, something like that. And back in the day, it used to be blocks too. It might be like, oh, here is a pretty good foundation for potentially a new archetype. I think like fairies during Lorwyn was a good example of that, where in the first set there was a decent amount of stuff, but it didn't really come together as a cohesive thing until the second set. And for a game like Marvel Snap, yes, the deck size is a lot smaller or whatever, but they're not releasing cards in these big bursts, right? And I do think that you are right, where if you are trying to make activate typal a thing, or end of turn typal, whatever,
or zombies next month.
Sure. Yeah, you do probably have to like blow that stuff out of the water. And if you are planning on eventually getting more cards of that nature into the ecosystem, then maybe you nerf the surrounding pieces over time. And I think that would be a thing that you would need to train your player base to get used to. It's not like, oh, every time they give us a new archetype, they just nerf it eventually, and like that makes us feel bad. It just makes us want to never buy into this new thing that they're trying to sell me. And it's like, well, no, we kind of have to do this.
I do think that is the risk, right? Where it's like people call it a rug pull, but it's like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. I just think that it's probably better to do cool stuff and do it big than it is to do the opposite. Like, I don't know. Maybe they have data showing that it's actually worse. Like, like maybe they do. Maybe they have data showing that like when we make a tier 1 card and then have to nerf it to tier 2, people hate that a lot and it costs us players. Like maybe that is like a meaningful restriction on them. I couldn't speak to it. Like I have no idea. But it definitely feels like a lot of their recent seasons have been like, this is all cool, but it's not good enough. It's cool. And again, I'm Mr. Spike, right? Yeah. If it's not good enough for me, that's not the same. It's not like, it's probably not a failure amongst the player base. You know what I mean? Like there are plenty of cards that aren't good, but people play the shit out of them, right? Like that's whatever. I think
I wonder, like I am the type of person who I wake up and the first thing I want is a dopamine hit, because my brain just does not work the same as like a neurotypical person's, right? And that is all I want all day. I am a drug addict for that shit. And mobile games are very good at serving that up to me. And so almost certainly the first thing I do is open up some mobile game. And if it is the same game I've been playing for like the last 2 weeks, it is oftentimes very boring, and like I'll go looking for something else, right? So like if there was a card game where, I mean, I do think that Snap for the most part is pretty good at this in terms of like injecting content every single week, but it can feel kind of chaotic, I would imagine, to someone who is maybe a little bit more on the neurotypical side of things or more casual side of things, where it's like, I just want to log in and know that maybe my decks have not gotten blown up, or like the metagame isn't completely different or whatever. Like there's some sense of stability that they are craving. And I think they would prefer to play a game where maybe the OTAs are getting the game to a more balanced place, and with the hope that things will become relatively stable. And for me, I'm just like, nah, like change 8 cards every week. Give me like 3 new cards every week. Just make it kind of chaotic, because like that's neurons firing for me. And I love that.
My overarching goal for balance would be to make sure that Deadpool Destroy is a good deck 100% of the time.
Yeah. I think that's a fine goal. I don't think that serves the entirety of the player base of people I'm talking about, but it is a big swath of them.
I mean, I think it's like a bigger swath than you think. But yeah,
no, I think it is quite large.
Yeah, like I think that just doing something like that, like explicitly being like that's the goal. Like that would honestly be what I would do. I do think though, we're about 40 minutes into the podcast. You've been bursting at the seams with this. It's time to talk about everybody's favorite lawyer, Noah Rabine.
Holy shit!
The GOAT is back, ladies and gentlemen.
He never left.
GOAT,
he may have left
he said
Twitter.
He would leave. He never left.
Yeah, he may have left Twitter mid-tournament because he knew that people were going to be talking shit. All right, to catch folks up, there's a guy who was called out for angle shooting and rules lawyering, and then you search for this guy.
Really specific here, like 40 separate instances of angle shooting and rules lawyering.
Yeah, so he got called out for it. People did some digging. They found his LinkedIn, and it's like, oh, he's a lawyer. That's not surprising, right? And then people just one by one came forward, and there was a very nice gentleman by the name of Fire Shoes on Twitter who compiled all of these fun stories that the community had to share about this our God King Noah Rabine. And yeah, the thread was about 60 deep, unique stories,
crazy.
Unique angle shoots, unique cheats.
And they were like, I think what really gives this resonance is they were all like, they weren't like, oh, I have a card in my lap. It was like, oh, I'm misleading the judge about the game state and trying to get you disqualified. Like, it wasn't even like, I'm going to cheat in the game. It was, I'm going to cheat in the metagame of competitive REL rules enforcement. And that is what's so fascinating about this guy to me.
I'm going to sit down and just, in our pre-game banter, where typically one tries to form a rapport with your opponent, he casually tries to slip in, how many game rules violations do you have thus far this tournament? Which should be a red flag.
There is no reason for anyone to ask you that. It is explicitly like, the reason you would ask that is if the answer is X and the number to get a game loss is X plus 1, he's going to lie to the judge. He's effectively asking, how easy is it for me to get you disqualified on some bullshit?
Yeah.
Which is awesome, for the record. Incredibly cool.
And for I don't know, folks who are now worried about this happening in some random TCG tournament, don't talk to cops. Just don't do it.
Or lawyers, apparently.
Yeah.
They say never talk without your lawyer present, but they did not account for Noah Rabine.
But don't talk without your lawyer present, but like, do not talk in front of opposing counsel.
Yeah, that would be a good way to phrase it. Yeah.
This guy's not your lawyer. Let me tell you.
He is the GOAT, though, because a lot of the times you hear about, dishonesty in the purpose of winning Magic tournaments, right? And you're like, all right, that's kiddie shit. And that's part of why I love kiddie shit in like writ large for thousands of dollars. It's part of why I love Magic cheaters. This is some adult shit. This is some shit that would work on my ass. Like, I think I would fall for this. And I think that's what makes Noah Rabine so compelling. Future third mic on this podcast.
God willing. Yeah, so he at first did not suffer much in the way of repercussions, and people did a very good job of not letting it die out because the news cycles are very quick. There is always more drama, and if there is not drama, people will often just create new drama or new shit to talk about, and the news cycle goes very quickly, and people would eventually forget about this guy, but people would not let this guy die out. He kept getting staffed for tournaments because he's also a judge. He is also a fairly high-level, prolific judge, and good God, why would you want this guy handling any of your matches? Like, some of the allegations were things like things that he had done like while he was a judge helping out his friends or whatever.
Right, the one that was like, yeah, I knew he couldn't do that, but I didn't say anything. Or I knew you couldn't do that, but I didn't say anything because you're my boy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want that guy anywhere near your events as a player or a member of staff. And so people kept bringing this up. Eventually, he posted a public apology, which is funny because he did not apologize for the specific instance in question that brought all of this up, which was him scumming an opponent out of a Pro Tour qualification. And that meant that he was qualified for this Pro Tour, which happened last weekend, which was Pro Tour Edge of Eternities in Atlanta. And he wrote this thing saying that he was going to go to Atlanta, but in the interest of, better serving his community, He was going to play in the Pro Tour. It was going to be his final one, and he totally would back out, guys, for real, for real. But he's so sorry. He had already made plans and has obligations to attend, so he must play in this Pro Tour. He has to.
And but don't worry, he said that if he was in a position to qualify, congratulations, or to requalify, congratulations, a quote, congratulations to my opponent, for I will concede.
Yeah, for whom I will concede to. And that meant that I was rooting for him. He did it. He found a way to get me to root for him when previously, furthest thing from my mind, because the only thing I wanted was for him to be in the position where he would
actually
inevitably go against his word. And not only did he do that, he deleted his Twitter. He deleted the post and then deleted his account.
Just to be clear, the post was on an external website. So he had this external website. And in the middle of the tournament, 10 wins qualifies you for the next Pro Tour. He deletes his Twitter. He takes down the external website that is hosting his apology. And then he does not concede and wins his 10th match to requalify for the next Pro Tour. My goat. Oh my God. Unfortunately, that is beast mode. That is...
It's still such clown shoes, though, because, motherfucker, you think people didn't keep receipts on your ass?
It's so funny, man. It's, like, I'm sorry, that's just a beast mode move. To be like, it's so easy to be like, this will never happen. I'll tell him I'll concede, but it's fine. I won't actually be in that position anyways. Who actually does well at the Pro Tour? You go there, you're your 10th win, you're staring at him, you're thinking about it. And credit to Noah here. Not any evidence of a pang of conscience in his play. A clean 2-0 for that 10th win. My guy locked in.
Oh, yeah.
There was not that was unbelievable. Like, for all we know, maybe he was racked with guilt, but I can tell you it did not impact the match. He went crazy. Clean 2-0, requalify, and that's the Magic Pro scene, it seems.
More or less. So when folks are like, hey, Gerry, why aren't you trying to qualify? These are the people who would be my peers. These are the people who I would beat, and then I'm supposed to feel good about that? I'm supposed to feel happy, accomplished?
I can tell you one man you should feel happy to beat, and that is my boy Ginky. Johnny Gutman. Yeah.
Ginky good.
Good. A man. I just wanted to give him a shout out. That's actually the entirety of that. Do you have any more Noah bits?
No, I didn't hear much. There was a DQ. I will talk about that in a little bit. Ian Robb, our boy Ian Robb, played his third Pro Tour.
He did not pick up shit canned, man.
Did not pick up his third top 8. He did day 2.
Oh, I thought he said he went 0-8 or something.
No. I think he went 4-4 and then got shit canned, but
so it was like okay, yeah.
I think you will appreciate this. He posted on Twitter, I need 2 copies of Abstergo Entertainment.
I saw that.
Which is a bullshit Magic card from a Fallout set.
That's Assassin's Creed, man.
Assassin's Creed. That's what it was.
I played that game. I know what Abstergo is. He made another tweet that was like, I've been reading up on Abstergo. And it's like, I already fucking know, bro. I know exactly.
I am studying the blade.
I was in for the original 3 arc. Like, the original plan for Assassin's Creed was they did the one in the Crusades, they do the one in Italy, and then the third one's going to be in the modern age with the main character having picked up the skills of his ancestors, right? That's the plot. But the second Assassin's Creed went so completely batshit gangbusters, they were like, fuck this. We're not ending this story. Are you joking? And it just got really stupid from there.
Yeah.
And so I was in the early days of Assassin's Creed. I played a lot of Assassin's Creed, dude. And then I was out because I was actually invested in the story.
I watched the movie with Michael Fassbender.
There was a movie?
Oh yeah, it was not good.
Was he playing? Wait, did they do a movie where he plays the guy in the modern age? Because he would be a good Desmond Miles, I think.
I don't know. It was confusing and bad. But anyway, I don't know Ian. I've never met him. I've never talked to him. We are mutual follows on Twitter. But I did DM him and told him that I was bringing some Abstergos because I did not want my goat to not be able to play with the cards that he wanted.
Were those your Abstergos that he would have lost the game without?
Unfortunately, no, because he found them. But
Damn.
I did give them to another kid to hand off to him, and the kid immediately gave them back to me and said that he found them. I was like, God damn it. I wanted my goat to bless my cards.
Yeah. Just a little magic, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, in regards to that, perhaps the thing that makes Ian Robb the most infamous, I did ask someone this weekend. I was like, do you think this is rolling dice or do you think this is a jerk off motion? And she laughed and said, it's a jerk off motion. Like, come on. So uninvested third party has been pulled.
I mean, I love the idea of that being like, date conversation. Like, I could do that. My girlfriend and I, we've been together forever, right? That's basically my wife. I could be like, hey, what do you think this is? The jerk off motion. But you, like, for what I'm imagining in my head is like, second or third time meeting someone, maybe the first time in real life. And you're like, hey, tell me if this is a jerking off motion.
Hey, got a question for you.
Hey, what's up?
No, it is a longtime friend of mine. I've been friends with her for like 25 years or something.
I do think the concept of that is really funny, though. Just like, on the first date. What do you think?
I would do that. Do that. Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on this motion? What is your vibe? Give me a vibe check on this.
Tell me what you see.
I value your perspective. I want to let you know that I listen to you. I respect
It's
women.
A Rorschach clip, effectively. What is this motion?
Yeah, it's a Rorschach clip in the sense that it's like 99-1. Like it's like calling your cactuar a Rorschach clip. Like most people who look at that will be like, "Oh, okay, weird." That's
not a cute little cactus. That's a swastika.
Right.
Well,
I guess it can be both.
I see.
Maybe he's rolling. Maybe he's rolling.
Cactus.
Maybe it's like he's rolling one dice and also a testicle.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, condolences to Ian Robb. I'm glad that Ginky made top 8. Ginky's great. Matt Costa did pretty well yet again. Finishing X and 5, re-queuing for everything probably. Kind of absurd considering he just plays the Pro Tours and like doesn't play Magic in between them.
Yep. Well, I mean, think of the competition.
Well, right. And dude, he's known Noah Rabine for forever because they're both from like the Boston area.
Matt Costa was
hoping to play against him.
Yeah, like Matt Costa is someone who, in my head, I'm just like, yeah, I'm probably never going to be technically able to touch that guy. Like my technical gameplay will not ever be on that level. Sorry, it's like whatever. That's never going to happen. I'm good.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Cool.
There were 2 small children staying in a hotel room with me and my homie Michael, and they finished 10th and 21st.
Yo! First of all, why were there 2 small children in your room? Law and Order sound effect.
By small children, I mean late 20s.
Oh, okay. All right. That it's a fraught subject, I just feel like you got to work on your phrasing there. But congratulations to the children who stayed in your hotel room. That's really an impressive feat, considering
they killed it.
They had to learn from you.
Oh no, one of them I met that weekend.
I think that you mentioned a DQ earlier.
Yes.
Would you care to go into that?
So awkwardly, I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, And my judge friend walks up, and it is normally a person who is staffed at like running the command zone. And it is a blessing and a curse. Like they have recognized that he is very good at it, and so continued to staff him at it. And he was like, please, dear God, get me out of here. Put me, on one of the actual events, or in this case, on the Pro Tour. And they're just like, oh, brother, but you're so good at the command zone.
Damning with
so he came up and he was like, finally, I'm on a Pro Tour. I'm judging a Pro Tour. I'm on a break. How are you guys doing? I'm doing great. And I was like, how many people have you DQ'd? Haha. And he was like, none. And I was like, what are you doing? Get back in there. Go DQ some cheaters. And then I found out a couple rounds later that my friend got DQ'd. I was like, oh
no. What did he do? Also, when did you become friends with Noah Rabine?
Well, unfortunately, Noah Rabine did not get DQ'd.
Maybe he turned over a new leaf. Maybe he was like, as a reward to myself for turning over this new leaf, I'll just, I'll qualify for the Pro Tour as a treat.
So my friend was in his first Pro Tour and did a thing that is like a lot of these cheats, like a lot of the stuff that Noah does, is like clearly he is getting an advantage. The thing that my friend did not give him an advantage. He just did a thing that was very, very bad for him. And then it was basically like, wee you, pull over, and then the cop, aka the judge, started the interview with, what kind of decks do you like to play?
What is the relevance of that?
In order to get a sense of like, do you actually know how this interaction works? Or are you trying to gain some sort of advantage when like there is no advantage to be gained? He played a card into a thing that countered his own card.
Okay.
And so he's like trying to answer the judge's like weird question. It's just like, I tempo decks, I don't know. Like, I just like playing Magic, man. Like, what kind of decks do you like to play? Like, what are we doing here? Are we on a blind date? What's happening?
No, because if you were on a blind date, you'd be asking, does this look like a jerking off motion?
Yeah. And then it got to a point where it's like, oh, his body language made it seem like he was really uncomfortable. So we DQ'd him.
I hate that stuff.
And I'm sure
I really hate it.
I'm sure there's obviously a lot more to it than that, but it's just like, yeah, obviously his body language is uncomfortable. If I get pulled over, and even if I was speeding, or even if I wasn't, like, yeah, I'm going to be uncomfortable. Like, yeah. What do you mean?
I spent a lot of my childhood being a bad kid that got treated like a worse kid, if that makes any sense.
It does.
So instinctively, I have a like underlying belief in situations that what is going to go bad for me is everyone will decide that they hate me and do, like, not necessarily lie about it, but that is my like overarching fear in various situations, is like I will be blamed for things that I did not do because I spent a lot of my life being blamed for things that I did not do.
Yep. No, I can actually relate to that a lot.
Yeah. And so it is very much a learned skill. Like, I had to specifically learn, like, how do I actually talk to authority figures? Like, what am I supposed to represent myself as? The first time I ever got pulled over by a cop, the only time ever, I pulled over to the wrong side of the road, right? And he was yelling at me, like, you got to pull over to the other side. And it's just like, I didn't know how to handle that interaction, right? I have not had a bad interaction with the police since. This is not because the police have magically gotten better. It's because I have gotten better at talking to police. And I think that there's just like, the first time you are in those spots, a lot of the time, you are just going to be bad at it, and you're going to be awkward, and you're going to be weird. And unless you put effort into it, you will be like that for a while. And so the idea that the body language is bad, I would probably have had terrible body language if I was in your friend's spot. I probably wouldn't now, right? I'm a man, though. Like, I'm an adult.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a full-grown human being who has socialized with other people And I'm not like trying to impugn your friend here, but like, I don't think a lot of Magic players are in that spot. And I kind of think that being like, oh, I'm going to be the body language expert on a group of like largely antisocial nerds is insane.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that there was almost certainly to try and give the judge staff credit. I think there was more stuff that went into it rather than just like what kind of decks you like to play and his body language was sus. I'm sure there was, but like those were some of the.
What if your guy cheated, dude?
He probably said some dumb shit, for sure. In terms of like, why did you do this, or how did you think this interaction worked, or whatever. But ultimately, like the thing that he did could not give him an advantage. It just literally could not. And he just fucked up and did not know how to handle the, I would say, investigation.
But it was having fucked up, yeah.
But it was more like an interrogation, right? Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you're in a police interrogation room. Your body language is going to be bad. It is not very comfortable, and it was unfortunately, in my opinion, at least, a wrongful DQ, and that sucks.
I have no opinion on the DQ because I do not know the facts at hand. I do think that body language is bad as a way to determine this kind of stuff. It's the cops employ a lot of like body language pseudoscience experts, like facial recognition or whatever. Like, oh, he looked over to the left, it means he's lying or whatever. And
right,
it's basically all bullshit. Like, it's all garbage, and it has put innocent people in jail and enriched fraudsters off of our tax money. The people that they're paying to give these seminars are just going up there and lying and putting innocent people in jail. And I have very little appreciation for that. And obviously, this is not nearly so severe. But it is, as someone who was extremely awkward around authority for the vast majority of my life, I think this is the biggest lesson I've learned. The fact that I felt guilty made people judge me as guilty. Regardless of if I felt guilty for actually doing the thing that they were talking about or not, I would feel guilty from being accused of doing the thing.
I would feel guilty for like wasting people's time and like making my opponent think that like maybe I was cheating or whatever. Like I would feel bad for all of those things, and my body language would be sus as a result of it. And now, I mean, my best friend and I have been saying this for years, where both he and I are just very good at both talking to authority figures and also just navigating the complexities of like the judge system and how the rules work and the right things to say. And it's just like, we are both convinced that we would never get DQ'd for anything. Like if we didn't want to, like if we did a thing that was a DQable offense, like we're probably not going to fight it, but like if we ever find ourselves in a situation like that, no chance in hell. And if anything, like if I were in my friend's seat, I may have tried to get his opponent DQ'd because of the way that he handled it.
Noah Rabine over here. Let's go.
No, it was just like, dude clearly made a mistake, and instead this guy just goes on a wild fishing expedition.
Sharked him a little bit, yeah. I will say that I am, again, like, I have no idea what the facts of this case are. I'm not gonna get sued or yelled at about public apologies. It's not happening. All right, I don't want that in my future. So I want to be clear. I don't know the facts of the case. I am purely speculating and reminiscing on how I acted with authority figures when I didn't know how to do that. And it is. Yep. I mean, it's stark, right? Because like you're talking about being a better person than me. Oh, I'd feel guilty for the time I was wasting. I'd feel guilty for my opponent. No, I'd feel guilty, and not just guilty. I'd feel bad because I know that even if I didn't do anything, I can be judged guilty of that thing regardless, and the consequences will still be applied to me. And so I think it's also, there's like a fundamental distrust that I have of like a fair process of review. Again, a lot of that is from the way I grew up, right? There is no way for me to trust that, like, people are dumb and bad at all sorts of stuff. You could make a mistake. You could not like the way I looked at you. You could do a bunch of things, and that could impact. I could have bad body language, right? Regardless of whether I did anything wrong, you would adjudicate that way. So I would feel bad just from that possibility,
Right. You're like, this fucking judge is eyeing my Steelix right now. Like, he definitely wants to rip this thing up. What an asshole. He's already decided I'm guilty.
There is a connection there. Although in the case of the Steelix, I did do it. Although I would argue the punishment did not fit the crime. I believe what I did was waste some shampoo. But
but look at your glorious head of hair. Was it a waste?
I wasn't using it on my hair. I was trying to make it make a bubble bath. So I was just like pouring shampoo into the bath. And it's just like, it's like an entire bottle of shampoo down the drain. And it's like, all right,
your happiness is definitely a waste, KM.
Fucking ripping up your Steelix stock. But yeah, that is largely the sort of thing that put me in that headspace where it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, I have no fundamental, like, it could happen that I get punished unjustly, or it could not happen. And unfortunately, all I can do to have control over it is work the refs. That's a pair. I think ideally what I could do to have control over it is not do anything untoward. But I wouldn't be surprised if Noah Rabine, for example, was better at not getting punished than many other people in his spot doing similar things, you know?
Yeah. Noah in this position definitely would not have gotten DQ'd.
Noah in this position would have gotten his opponent DQ'd.
Yeah.
Like there is. And
I can only aspire to be, half as good level as he is. So
I think what really impresses me about Noah is it actually is quite impressive to me. Like, as someone who has the struggles that I do, it is very impressive for someone to be like, here is a system. It is ripe for the taking. I am going to fucking exploit the shit out of this with a smile on my face. I don't have that.
The funniest thing to me about it is, like, you could just try and get good, bro.
Well, I'm not
all this time you spend. All this time you spend. You could just try and get good. I don't know. Would you not feel better winning through, like, the actual game?
No. A win is a win. You guys just don't get it. Me and Noah, we get it. Real heads know. Me, Noah, and Eric Adams. Put it on a t-shirt.
Okay, so next time you get stream sniped, just think that it's the flaw Noah Rabine. Yeah. Goddamn right I have. It's not hard.
At least, all right. Yeah, okay. All right. I've been owned in the arena of facts and logic.
And see, this is why I would be good at talking to judges.
No, the only thing I should do now is just double down and just be like, not only are you wrong, you're like a communist who hates America. Okay? In fact, the very idea that you would question...
I can't be a communist who hates America when there's a swastika right there. Okay?
Yeah, but it's green.
Get owned again.
No, dude, it's green.
Again.
You have a green swastika, you might as well be like a top-down Stalin-esque communist. Green swastika is actually a very accurate summation of...
Green is the color of money because I am a capitalist.
If you ever took the time to read Marx, you would learn that actually, if you just say green swastika, you have perfectly summed up all the thoughts of Karl
Look at
Marx.
all this consumerism that I'm participating in. I love money. You're exploiting people. I hate socialism.
All I'm saying is I feel like I could, as an adult now, have an adult conversation with a judge wherein I express myself in a reasonable way. I don't know what age I would have to be, but I'm pretty sure I couldn't have done that when I was 22, which is embarrassing.
I would just start yelling at them at that age, probably. I would just get like so mad and angry and frustrated. I'd probably just start screaming and like personally insulting them, I'm sure. But yeah, now these days... my strategy was... At that point, like, because I could not see a way through that led to victory, I would just try to hurt them. Like, that would be it. It's like, Gerry, that's all.
If you can't see a way to victory, why don't you try just getting good?
I did that. And I would argue that I did, in fact, get good.
Uh-huh. But you left you left part of yourself behind. right? Where's the Gerry who would start screaming at judges and try to insult them? I feel like
he's still there.
Your ability
still there.
to leverage
beat him down.
Your ability to leverage that guy, it would be like if Noah Rabine reformed. You know what I mean? It would be a joyous day for us all. But inside, I'd be a little sad because I wouldn't be able to hear about this shit anymore.
Yep.
I would lose some entertainment value, right? Eric Adams, he's a pretty shitty dude. And I don't want him to be mayor of New York or really anything else, but I do want him to be around. And I guess I feel like Eric Adams dropping out, it's sort of like if Noah Rabine reformed, Like, I am losing out on this.
Or did actually concede and then just disappear.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I think that in your case, we lost out. We lost out on Gerry Thompson disqualified from Worlds for calling the judge like several different
poo-poo head.
Yeah, like that wasn't where I was going to go with that, but okay. Like Gerry Thompson disqualified from Worlds for comparing the judge's ideology to a cactuar plushie. Like this is like I just feel like we missed out, right? Like we instead we get like Gerry Thompson withdraws from $10,000 tournament to protest the. Actually,
$10,000.
That was what you were guaranteed, right? That was base.
I mean, that was like my equity, sure, but it was like a $1 million tournament or $10 million tournament or some shit.
Yeah, but it was like your equity, and it was like $12K or something. So like fundamentally, what you were turning down was $12K plus X.
Yeah, but that's not taking into consideration that I had, in fact, gotten good. And clearly would have won.
I was actually turning down first place. I just want everyone to know that. Like, that's what was actually happening. I'm just that goated.
2nd to 6th range, I think, maybe.
Sure.
I was running.
I mean, why put a ceiling on it? Why not
I
say
submitted
first
a deck list. I submitted a deck list for the tournament. I thought my deck was pretty good.
Yeah. I think that I guess generally I just think that like we missed out on you missing a tournament for bad reasons instead of good ones,
Oh, I missed plenty of tournaments because I was shadow banned.
I remember that. I like that occurred to me as I was saying it, but like we didn't know that,
Right. Yeah.
There wasn't like a here are the continuing exploits of Mr. Shadowban. Like that unfortunately it was shadowed, right?
Yeah.
It's like
I decided to not tell anyone, and then the public out. I would have continued to not tell anyone probably, but
I was kind of surprised you brought it up.
Matt Sperling outed me on Twitter.
It actually occurs to me that I never really thought about it. Are you in the Hall of Fame?
No, I'm not. This was actually during Hall of Fame season.
No, that's why I brought it up.
He was kind of campaigning against me.
No, I remember. Like that was like specifically the argument against you. And I was trying I never realized I never got the resolution of that.
No, you needed 40% of the vote that year, and I got something like 30 and some change.
Staggered.
And then a few months later, the Worlds happened that I protested, and then there were people like Nassif who were like, "Oh, I want to change my vote now." So I still don't think I would have gotten in because I would have maybe gained some votes from the Pro Tour players, but I almost certainly would have lost like whatever Wizards vote I had.
I do think it's funny that Nassif is just like, I didn't vote for you then because I didn't think you were good enough. But now, now that you're not playing in this tournament, you got it. But that's so sick.
I should have not played more tournaments.
That's such a fucking dagger. Like, hey, I'll vote for you in this shit as long as you stop playing. What's up, dude? That rocks. I think that is the coolest shit on earth. Also, shout out to Nassif. He got tweeted out by the Orlando Magic account. The Orlando Magic posted like
someone else with a yellow hat.
No, the Orlando Magic posted, "What are your top 5 Magic players?" And a bunch of Magic players quote tweeted with a bunch of top 5 Magic players. So the social media team for the Orlando Magic posted their top 5 list, which was chalk, right? It was like Finkel and Kai, but Nassif was on it. So there you go.
Like, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's honestly pretty sick.
It was, but the entry level take, right? Finkel and Kai, like Kai's above Finkel. What are we talking about here? Like, are we being serious right now? Like,
are you being serious right now?
I am. Longevity. The argument from longevity. I'm making it.
Wait, who are you arguing for?
Kai. You're saying no?
Finkel has had a much better like post early career than Kai has.
Is that
and
true?
It's not close.
Is that actually true? I feel like he shows up to like one pro tour, gets 12th every time, which is true. But has he top 8'd anything?
He top 8'd Kuala Lumpur. He top 8'd the Delver one. You remember the no blocks?
No, I don't remember that.
Kibler?
I don't remember that at all.
Kuala Lumpur was limited.
Okay.
He was Wafo Tapa's only 3 losses in the entire tournament were Finkel.
That's disgusting.
That was like 2007 or something. Dark Ascension was 2012. I believe he was in top 8 of Avacyn Restored.
So what I'm learning is exactly when I'm not playing or paying attention to Magic, John Finkel is.
And I assume that there was like more past that too. Like, yeah, Kai had the one top 8 with Rhinos. And I mean,
Kai also did well in like a recent one. Like he top 8'd like when I was paying attention to Magic in like 2019, 2020, Kai top 8'd something. I swear to God. I swear. I'm so sure about this. I'm so sure about this. And to me, it was just so insane to be like going from being that and like he top 8'd like one of those arena events. Like an event played entirely on MTG Arena. And
those aren't real.
Sure. But it happened, like the idea of just like being the guy who did like the guy who did what he did way back in the day in like 2003 to like now 20 years later top 8'ing an event that I want to say it was the Pro Tour where Shota Yasuoka had that's not going to narrow it down, an off meta blue black deck. Bolus's Citadel, I want to say Kai top 8'd that Pro Tour. Am I off base?
Okay, John won Kuala Lumpur in 2008. 2012, Hawaii got 3rd. Lost to Kibler when he punted. 2012, Barcelona, AVR, he got 5th.
That's fucking insane.
Players Championship, which is basically Worlds, top 4. 2015, 2016 season, Milwaukee Pro Tour 3rd, Madrid Pro Tour 5th. And then there was a team Pro Tour in Las Vegas in 2018 where he got 1st, according to Wikipedia. I don't remember that shit at all.
It is actually insane how everything you've said is right when I wasn't paying attention to Magic. Like, I stopped paying attention to Magic right at the beginning of Innistrad. And started again with the second Ravnica set, or the third Ravnica set. So I missed apparently a 6-year run of John Finkel being the GOAT again.
Yeah, he had 7 different top 8s that you did not know about.
The fuck?
So yeah, man, I think he beats out Kai.
That's insane to me. That's insane. But I think what they had was John, Kai, Paulo. I don't know who they had 4th, and I think Nassif was 5th.
Might have been your boy SUV.
It might have been my boy SUV.
It sounds like they just went on Wikipedia and was like, "What is
that is basically that's what I was getting at when I said that their thing was chalk. I do feel like that's what was going on there.
Yeah.
I think that I have just been made to feel like what a judge trying to disqualify you would feel like, you know?
Yeah, so Kai had his top 8 in Amsterdam.
Yeah. That's and the white weenie one, right?
Correct. Yeah. And then his next top 8 was Barcelona with Rhinos. And then he got 8th in Worlds 2024, but that was cut to top 4. So it was not even like a top finish. So it is exactly what I said it was.
That's fucked up. I hate it.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
It's actually fucked up because like I knew like Finkel came back like when Modern first started and was doing well with Storm or whatever. He would just like show up to something and like play Storm. I did not realize he like actually played for 7 more years.
Well, these were also tournaments where he was just kind of showing up.
Fuck. That's fucked up. We all know the real MTG GOAT. My boy, Johnny Gutman. My guy. Finally breaking through.
What do you mean finally?
He's
didn't he have a top 8 where he had 3 Iganjos in his white weenie deck, and you and I talked about that?
I remember an arena thing. It was probably an arena thing. I remember you talking about the Iganjos. I remember that specifically because when I mentioned that I knew him, you were like, "Oh yeah, I had this interaction with him about the amount of Iganjos in the white weenie deck." I don't know, but I mean, he's been good as shit for forever, and he keeps getting better. So shout out to my guy.
Yep, he's good. We all knew it.
Yeah, I told you about the Runeterra Discord that I'm in. That we started to like back before Runeterra was like a thing, like in like a couple of like honestly kind of a spring off of your Discord server.
Just wow, thanks for the invite.
You weren't playing. It was like Yeoman and Yost and me and a couple of other people. I think Sandy Dog was in there for a little bit. But Simon Nielsen was in there. And after we'd all quit Lorcana, what would happen was, or not Lorcana, Runeterra, what would happen was the Discord would be exclusively used for being like, "Hey, Simon, congrats on the top 8. Like every Pro Tour, it was just the only thing the Discord was for, was like, let's congratulate Simon Nielsen on the Pro Tour.
Yeah, I would have left that Discord for sure.
I have never left the Discord in my life. I just throw them into like a pile. I've got like a pile of Discords I no longer check, and they're all there's just like one little tab there, and they're all in there. I've never left one. Doesn't happen.
I leave them all the time.
I understand the drive to, but what if something happens? I'm still in a Discord for Pokemon generation that I never got a single generated Pokemon out of for Pokemon 2 generations ago. I'm still there, just in case. In case I need a Rillaboom. I'm still in that Discord, dude.
Honestly, dude, I am probably Rillaboom flooded. I could probably hook you up with some Gen Shinies, you know?
I'm sure you could. I like that. That's the funniest part is I have no need for it. I played 1 season of VGC, got to Master Ball because it was very easy to get to Master Ball. Shit. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was like ranked 1,000 or some shit with the worst shit on earth. And never played VGC again in my life.
Yep.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I love doing that with games. Just start a game, get to the legend equivalent, and you're like, that's fun.
Yep, I'm done now. I do not plan on getting any better at this.
I beat the game.
Yeah, I am not about to get any better at this. The skill, people think that like, I think it's because there's numbers in Snap, right? Like you're like, oh, 40, that's not that different from 10. It's very different. It's extremely, extremely, extremely different, right? And I like infinite 40, I should clarify.
No, I know.
But like that's how it is in these other games where it's like if I don't feel like actually trying to learn about Hearthstone, I'm not gonna get better than where I am. I have to actually put in the effort, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to do that. Also, they did not renew my boy Ridiculous Hat's contract. He's with Alestrals now. They just did an event in a store called Nexus, which is interesting because it's the first time I've ever seen a card game company pull off a Nexus event.
Yeah. I saw that he was working for Alestrals, and I hope that is going well. I hope they treat him well.
I feel bad for the Alestrals guy. One of my friends is like a guy who does stuff in that space. And so he was like, the Alestrals guy wants to know if he can like send you some things. And so they sent me a box of Alestrals Clash. And they were like, no pressure. You don't have to do anything with it. We just want to see if you're interested in the game. I was like, cool, thank you. But like, I don't know if that's just something people say and they actually did. Like, do they actually not like me because of that? I don't know. Like, is that just something people say, or did he mean it? I have no way of knowing, and it could be either way. This is the root of my problems with authority figures. Is he just being polite? Was I supposed to like do something more there? I don't know. I don't know if it's just something people say or not, but it is something I've worried about because we were in the process of moving at the time, or getting ready to move at the time, and I never got around to playing Alestrals Clash. I'm saving it for a rainy day when we want to play like a board game or something. I'm pretty sure it's in that vein, but it just hasn't come up, and I feel bad because it's like, what if he was not just being polite, and I should have been like, oh, I'll open this on stream or whatever, you know? What if that's what was supposed to happen? You didn't pay me, but still.
I don't know, man. Clear communication solves a lot of things.
Yeah. I don't really know how to do anything other than that. So yeah. I've got that going for me. I have two skill sets. One is being very articulate, and the other is I am very in touch with how I'm feeling. So I'm pretty good at both of those.
So did you remember the Finkel article about the woman who went on a date with him?
Hell yeah, dude. Shout out to that woman, by the way. Exactly correct reaction to have to a Magic player. Everyone got mad at you. You were right.
Holy shit. Did I ever tell you that I saw my best friend's brother at Christmas a couple of years ago, and it was the first time seeing him in like 4 years. And we were like catching up, and he was like, oh yeah, and I saw that article that was written about you, and I was like, which one? And he was like, the one about the woman who went on a date with you and said it was really bad or whatever. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And then I finally figured out that he was talking about the Finkel article, and I was like, that wasn't me, man. And he was like, oh, you're the only like champion Magic player that I know.
That rocks.
And he's also like an actor in LA. He was like, oh, I was telling all my actor friends that like you were this like really awful nerd.
Well, I mean, look, this is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say shout out to that woman, because it's like, yeah, you painted with a broad brush. And Finkel, to be clear, definitely not that guy. He's a great guy from everything I've ever heard about the guy. But if it had been you, I mean, she would have nailed it. Like, she fucking, like, I'm just saying, like, if you line up the top 100 in a Pro Tour, John Finkel is going to stand out both through his real life accomplishments and his genuine moral clarity, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, painting with a broad brush, yes. But I also appreciate that, like, I don't know, man. Not everyone has to like the shit you like. And if someone is going to self-select out by being like, I think your hobby is childish and dog shit, well, you guys weren't going to be a match anyway. So,
right.
It's like, whatever, right? That woman got so much shit because she picked the exact, like, wrong person to do it to. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's you know, well, she got some bad RNG, you know? She got a little.
No, I mean, she also named him, though. Like, so that was part of it. I was like, well, clearly you didn't read the article that well, because like they didn't use my name. They used this other dude's name. And then you were just telling your friends for 4 years that it was me, which is just wild behavior.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm like a date connoisseur, right? That's not really my bag. But I think that if you wrote that about me at, say, the age of 23, 24, you would have nailed it.
Sure, yeah.
Fucking, you got my ass. Yeah.
I was probably not a great date at 24 either.
Yep. I think you would have smacked that one out of the park. You would have heard the sound effect of like you would have gone Barry Bonds on that shit, and it would have been the right thing to say. But yeah, like I don't know. I shout out to, I forgot her name, and it's probably not worth going and looking up, but shout out to that lady. Hell yeah. I do think that it is remarkable how far we've come in terms of just gaming being a thing. You know what I mean? Like, gaming isn't even like the weirdest thing people do on the internet anymore, right? Like, people are like, they're watching IRL streamers, right? That's the new cringe thing that the adults don't understand. They used to be like, why are you just watching someone else play this game? And now it's like, why are you watching Kai Cenat? And it's like, yeah, like that's the new thing that like the people who grew up with gaming streamers don't understand, right? You're 30, right? You grew up watching Disguised Toast or whatever, but now you're looking at Kai Cenat and you're like, what the fuck's this? That's, you're looking at iShow Speed and you're like, this is not okay. Okay. Like, that's, you know, I mean, like, I don't know what the next evolution of that is going to be. The 30-year-olds who grew up watching Speed are going to be like, what the fuck is this? This Gen Alpha is so cooked, you know? But it's going to be something.
It is. I don't know. I mean, you're also missing out on like the sort of flash in the pan stuff, just like the hot tub streams too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that was the meta for a while, but I think it's like pretty clearly become like, I don't even know the right word to describe it. It's just reality TV. Like, whenever I see a clip on TV, on Twitter, which is the only way I interact with these guys, like, it's the only way I ever see it, is like some verified Twitter account with 400K followers just tweeting out like, Speed randomly meets Peter and Lois Griffin cosplayers. And it's like, they didn't randomly meet. What are we talking about? Like, they're like, it's like professional wrestling or reality TV before people realized it was all fake. Like, it's that, right?
Wait. Was there a time when people didn't know it was fake?
Yes. That's what's happening right now.
And what do you mean? What's happening right now?
Sorry, but like, to be clear, I yes in the affirmative, and also that is what's happening right now to like IRL streamers, effectively.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there was definitely when people didn't know wrestling was fake. Absolutely. There was a time when people didn't know reality TV was like scripted or edited in that way. Yeah, absolutely. That was, yeah. Usually in the like early years of that stuff before people get smart, like there's just, you know.
I feel like there has to be some amount of like cognitive dissonance from the audience or whatever, or just like, I am going to pretend that it's real.
Maybe. But I'll say this. The kayfabe is strong. It's a powerful wall, or it's just like, the one I saw, and it's all just like really mundane stuff. Like, Speed is randomly in a Kroger and meets a guy who does a backflip off a cart. It's just like, what are you getting out of this? Like, I'm definitely the 30-year-old boomer in this one. Where it's like, I don't get it. I don't know what the deal is. But I whatever it is, it's working for them. Good for them.
Yep.
Are we done? I just realized. I just realized I do have one more thing I want to address, which is you are once again sweat wicking.
Yeah.
Is that like a full body thing? Are you wearing sweat wicking pants and the sweat wicking hat?
I was trying to get some shorts in there, but they're too short.
Just like that. The implication of that was just that you were naked, like just waist down, like Under Armour t-shirt from Amazon Basics.
No, this is legit Under Armour.
Oh, look at you.
This is compression shirt.
Nice.
It is really nice. It's difficult to take off, but I don't know, like it keeps me warm.
I use compression stuff at the gym. You don't need to explain that shit to me.
No, it's great.
I appreciate what they are, but also they make me self-conscious of my ever increasing girth. I finally got sick of this part of my beard not being good, so I shaved it, but in so doing, I shaved it down, and now I think my beard makes me look fatter instead of making me look thinner, and it's a real crisis of confidence here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I need to see it before and after. I need to see it before and after.
I need to figure out like what I'm supposed to do about this stuff, right? Like I've done no research into like how to style a beard. I just grow it and then trim it. So I should probably do that at some point. I am 32 years old. I have never done any effort into my physical appearance in that way, which is crazy when you think about it, because my job is to put my face on screen, and I probably should have, but I have not even. It just never occurred to me. If you have any facial hair advice for me, chat, let me know.
Yeah, I'm glad that you didn't ask me, because
I knew better.
Yeah. I'm gonna not take that as an insult.
You very rarely grow facial hair. Don't act like what you have right now is facial hair. Don't be like, I have. Okay,
it's not. I'm not saying like, I've got a full beard right now, dude. What do you?
You have like you do this thing every so often, and that's about it.
That's out of sheer laziness.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it is fine if you do care a lot about that stuff, because I do think that if you just look generally not even more attractive, but just like appealing or whatever, like that does go a long way subconsciously for a lot of people, you know? And
no one's ever going to DQ you from a tournament if you're hot.
I mean, I would say that my friend got DQ'd is probably fairly attractive. He's probably one of the more handsome men in the Pro Tour.
Not gonna
low bar.
I'm not making
bar,
the joke.
I get it, KM. I get it.
Joke.
Well,
shout out to that woman who wrote the John Finkel article. Once again, painting with a broad brush.
No, I'll send you a picture of this dude, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, no, that guy, that guy looks decent." But
it is almost certainly exactly what I'm gonna say. It's frustrating to me that you did such a good impression of it. Oh yeah, no, that's a KMBest special.
And then we just move on. But I'm not surprised that you haven't. I mean, I certainly have not done anything similar either, and I've been on camera for much longer than you, And dude, for at least 2 of my top 8s, they did do some amount of like hair and makeup. And they're like, "Oh, like what do you want to do?" I'm like, "Lady, clearly I don't put any effort into this whatsoever. So you do whatever you want."
I play professional Magic the Gathering. I'm positive you know better than me.
Yeah, ma'am, I'll take your word for it, I am your canvas. You are the artist.
I
do what you can. Do your best. That's all I ask.
I mean, is it time to ask you about your hair choices when it was just like the bright blonde? What was
I tried to dye my hair semi recently too, and it didn't take. And I don't know why, but I'm gonna do it again. So that era is not over.
I'm trying to get a WWE wrestler to come on Rate the Cards because he plays a lot of Flesh and Blood. And by trying to get him, I mean I'm responding to his tweets and being like, "Excuse me, sir, will you come around Rate the Cards?" Which he will not do. It will not work. But my promise is, if I do that, I will shave my beard and hair to mimic his, which is he has very outrageous facial hair combination with long hair with shaved sides. So all I'm saying is, Lexus King, I will dye my hair and also get my beard done in your fashion if you come on Rate the Cards. I will do this.
Yeah.
Solemn promise. It will happen. You will have to tell me what headband to use, but I will make it happen as long as my hair is long, which is a limited time span because I'm really getting sick of it. There is a lot of hair up here, and I don't want it to be around anymore, but this is a call to action. If you or someone you know knows Lexus King, make it happen.
I mean, I know Brian Gottlieb.
Yeah, I have thought about that, but it seems like a shitty thing to do, to be like, "Hey, Brian, the guy who's promoting your game, what if he was promoting a different game?" You know, that just doesn't seem like a good like a polite thing to ask.
No, because Brian understands that like rising tides lift all boats. You know, like if anything, he wants that guy to be more public and more prominent, just doing game related stuff because he probably thinks it's good for, you know, his game in general. And I think that he is right. He and I share the same opinion on that.
I appreciate
he
that
knows
you were
you.
like, yeah. I think it's absolutely hysterical to be like, here's my hypothetical Brian and what Brian thinks. Also, I think he's right and we agree.
Well, he and I have conversations about
I
this,
know,
you know,
but it's just like, as a conversational device, that is A+. That is so sick. Here's my thought form Brian. Here's what thought form Brian is saying. We agree.
What if my mental model of all the people I like, I'm like, yeah, they're the same as me.
Yeah, like your mental model of everyone you like is just your voice.
And that Brian guy, smart as shit, devilishly handsome.
That fucking rocks. We're gonna end it there, chat. Remember to keep your mental models of everyone you like to be me. Actually, they should all be me. You should envision everyone as me. This is how I start the personality cult that I was supposed to start when I started streaming 2 years ago. That's how we're gonna do it. You should hear things in my voice when you read them in text. That's what I want from you. I want you to construct a tulpa of me that agrees with you about everyone. It's just Chat GPT. Like, you just your mental models are all Chat GPT, where it's just like a sort of neutral arbiter in theory that just agrees with you 100% of the time.
I'm searching Amazon for hair dye.
Yeah, because I mean Brian would agree that you should dye your hair. You know?
No, he wouldn't. He would
no,
not.
The mental model of Brian that I have constructed says that he would agree that you should dye your hair.
He wouldn't. That I know.
My mental model of your mental model says your mental model is not not correct.
I know that your mental model of my mental model.
The problem is I know you're right, but I'm not giving up on the bit. So for all intents and purposes, my mental model, you know, still disagrees.
Purple. It's gonna happen.
Is it actually?
Well, I'm searching for hair dye right now.
I mean, just like
I'm gonna figure out how to do it.
I can't ever realistically dye my hair without it being a whole thing. It's too dark, right? But
yeah,
it is something that I would do for Lexus King. Let's go, baby. But yeah, I think that it's super cool to see that overlap. It's dope as hell. And there are other wrestlers in that vein. Shit, dude. There were like 4 wrestlers who did a dropout thing. They did a whole campaign with Brennan Lee Mulligan. This is dope as hell. And that's cool. It's cool to see my interests overlap. Unfortunately, you know, There are other things about that company that are not so great, but hey, what can you do?
About Dropout?
No, WWE.
Oh, I was like, what the hell?
Vince McMahon had an 80th birthday party. I don't even want to talk about the other stuff, but he had an 80th birthday party where he gave away busts of, he's 80. He gave away like marble busts of himself to all the attendees. And the picture that we saw on Twitter was like a marble bust of Vince McMahon next to a marble bust of, and I'm serious, it looked like Michelangelo's David. And, or like a statue of Augustus from like ancient Rome. It looked like one of those, right? So it was like his picture or his likeness of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, very modern likeness. And then like Roman twink. It was just like, those were the two busts apparently. And it's just like, what statement is he making? Because when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a bust of Augustus, right? And that seems like the kind of thing Vince McMahon would do. Be like, give away a bust of himself and a bust of Augustus, the first Roman emperor, and be like, okay. But now I think it might be it might be Michelangelo's David, and it's just like that I don't even want to think about that one. That one's just crazy. Like, I'm getting past bust of yourself, because that, self-aggrandizement, sure, whatever. Bust of yourself and then bust of Roman emperor is like, I want to know the thought process. That is such a specific and unique thing to do that, like, it's not just about you, it's something else going on there, and I really want to know about it.